The challenge that we are all faced with is not where we are today. It's where we should be tomorrow. And to do that, we have got to understand the potential of this nation. And whatever we do today has to be long-term and meaningful. We've got to get away from saving today and no thought for tomorrow. And to do that as well, we are equipped with the tools to think about the future. We have a process in Sri Lanka, in Sri Lankan culture, that assesses potential in a very simple way. It's very simple. And I'm sure as accountants you'll understand this even more than most. Follow the fact to arrive at the truth. Simple. That's it. Follow the fact, assess the fact, and arrive at the truth, and your action should be based on nothing but the truth. When you base your actions or decisions on something that is other than the truth, you will arrive at a result or a conclusion that you did not expect. Simple as that. And there is a beautiful sutra, the first sutra that was preached by Mihindu when he came down to Sri Lanka. It's called the Chulahattipadopama Sutra. The Venerable Mihindu never preached Buddhism. He came to Sri Lanka and he trained King Devanampetissa to think. And the philosophy of that foundational principle was simply follow the facts. He used the example of looking for an elephant in a forest. I'm not going to go into that, but I will urge all of you to please find a copy of the Chulahattipadopama Sutra if you haven't already read it, and please study it. And essentially, what it teaches you is to be very clear in following the facts and coming at an assessment of your potential. Now, if you assess our potential using that philosophy, you're going to arrive at a simple conclusion that we have been blessed to be born in one of the greatest nations on earth. And this was clearly understood by our ancients. Think about our biodiversity. You're going to be hard-pressed to find a nation that's more diverse in its biology than Sri Lanka within 65,610 square kilometers. Its flora and its fauna, Sri Lanka is incredibly diverse. We have so many types of animals and insects and birds. And consider our terrain. How many different types of forests and plains and mountains and beaches do we have in this fairly limited space? No wonder we were called the Garden of Eden. That's exactly what we are. This is a Garden of Eden. We're so blessed. Think about our history. You know, Sri Lanka has something like 8 or 9 World Heritage Sites. And that means we have the highest density of heritage sites of any nation in the whole world. There are nations that have more World Heritage Sites, but we have the most in a rather small area. Something we can be very proud of. And my assumption is that we have at least another 25 sites that can eventually make it into the UNESCO World Heritage Site list. At least another 25. Our cascade system, the Vava or the Ellanga Paddhati, which I was just talking to you about, just made it into the UNESCO World Water Systems list. But there are so many that are just being discovered. if you just step out into any beach and look out into the ocean, 500,000 plus square kilometers of ocean is ours. Almost 9 times the landmass of Sri Lanka. This is why we like to call it the Sea of Sri Lanka. Yes, there is the Indian Ocean, but this is our sea, and unless we start calling it what it is, nobody else is going to give us that respect. It is the Sea of Sri Lanka, and it is full of potential, it is full of resources, it is full of possibilities, and that's the key, understanding our potential. Because if we don't understand our potential, then we don't see the future, and then it's very easy to be part of somebody else's story. Don't make the mistake of assessing what a few temporary custodians have made us believe Sri Lanka is to be our future. We just need to be super focused and serious about the future of Sri Lanka. We need to understand that other nations will have their interests, and there's nothing wrong with that. We just can't act like drunk monkeys in what we do. That weakness will be very quickly recognized, and then there is a very difficult path to return. We've got to be serious. And when countries realize that we are serious about ourselves, they will take us seriously.